Okay, so Harvey Weinstein was convicted of several counts having to do with sexual assault. Now, that's a very serious charge, but we have to recognize that Mr. Weinstein was caught up in a difficult situation, having to deal with a lot of different women in the entertainment industry in Hollywood. Hollywood is itself totally unreal, and everything is make-believe. So we have to recognize that Harvey had to act in a certain way because that is the way life is. So the charges against Harvey Weinstein, now the most serious charges were he received an acquittal for the most serious charges of rape. And if we consider third-degree rape, well, how can that have happened if the person making the allegation was saying that she was raped in the conventional sense of being sexually assaulted? So why would anyone have wanted to be transported to a hotel where Harvey Weinstein was residing at the time and then claimed that she was raped, when in fact the jury found that she was not actually raped physically, but perhaps there was some kind of a penetration or whatever of her genitalia. So how could that have occurred unless there was some consent on her part? I don't understand how that could have happened. So we must be clear here. Now, Mr. Weinstein has also some allegations against him in California, similar to those in New York. Now, of course, there were some other prior allegations of misconduct, which were way before the statute of limitations had expired. So obviously they could not have been the basis for any conviction of Mr. Weinstein. But the same situation is facing Mr. Weinstein now in California. So the reality is that Mr. Weinstein has shown remorse for whatever wrongdoing he may have done. And it is terrible that he has to suffer in prison for what he has done or what other people claim he has done, because it was way before the statute of limitations had already run out on those particular offenses. Now, in any event, it's necessary that the Attorney General of California review these allegations, okay, carefully, and make a determination as to whether, in fact, Mr. Weinstein has committed an act of rape, because anyone can make an accusation of rape when, in fact, that person has actually consented to having sex with another person. So, uh, it's a sad situation, actually, but it has to do with what's happened in our culture. You see, men have basically abdicated responsibility for taking care of women in particular, for showing respect for women, and for taking responsibility, especially in their own families, for their wives and their children. And Mr. Weinstein has become the scapegoat. There's plenty of sexual misconduct in Hollywood at this time, and it has existed for many, many years. And there's no reason that Mr. Weinstein has to become a scapegoat for all these terrible things that have happened in Hollywood all of a sudden. You see, Mr. Weinstein is not the problem. But Mr. Weinstein is now sitting in a jail cell in New York. And it's not a very pleasant place to be, particularly given all the other types of criminality and sexual perversions that already exist in those institutions. It's not a good thing that Mr. Weinstein is subjected to that. So it's necessary that someone make a decision, a judge, either in New York or in California, that it's necessary that the district attorney dismiss the charges against Harvey Weinstein. And in New York, a judge will have to make a decision to overturn the verdict against Harvey Weinstein. Because this is the only way that we can have real justice here in the United States. So, I ask you folks out there to say a special prayer for Harvey Weinstein. I will actually pray myself for Harvey, and let's try and see if we can get him released from prison and not have to undergo the types of evil that exists in our judicial system and in our prison system in particular. Because Harvey Weinstein is not an evil person. He just is a man that got caught up in some very tragic situations. So, please pray for Harvey and ask God that he can have some kind of justice and we can make this thing work out. Okay, great, thank you.